So last year, it's almost a year now. If you were to come in to me and say, hey Tammy, listen, there's this magical stone, it's called Moldavite, and if you come into possession of one, it'll change your life. And so me a year ago would not believe it. There's like no way. It's like, what can an itty bitty stone possibly do? Well, a year later, my entire life has changed. I spent 7 months in Vietnam. Now I'm doing a film about my journey, and now I'm selling rocks, and I left my career as a financial advisor. So what all can happen? I don't know. All I can do is share with you my experience and 3 things that I noticed that was very dominant in this whole journey. And so it may be different for you, and it may be different for everyone else. You know, everyone has their own journey. But here's 3 things that you can prepare yourself for when working with your first piece of Moldavite. So let's cut to the chase. Tammy Doe, let's go.
Audio Jungle.
This is about 2 weeks ago when I got my first inventory of Moldavite, and it was a lot of Moldavite. It was like over 100 grams of Moldavite, including my 50-something stones I had brought to the temple with me, Father's tomb. So there's over 250 grams of Moldavite in my room. And for you, those who don't know like what the grams are, this itty bitty piece is about 5 to 6 grams. I had my first stone, it was only about 5 grams, and it kicked my butt. Like, I had no idea what I was in for. Now I had over 250 grams in my room. As I'm doing these videos, people are asking like, hey Tammy, are you selling Moldavites? And now I'm like, okay, I just want to make these into jewelry so people can constantly have it on their body. And so my new inventory came in, I had it in my room, and then I was about to film, and I was in the restroom getting ready, and then I remembered, hey, I bought a new mascara, it's in my purse, in my room, so go get it. So I went to my room, and all of a sudden, I just stood there. And I was like, what am I in here for? And then I left back to the restroom, I was like, oh yeah, my mascara. I went back in, I stood there, and I blanked out. And literally, this happened 3 times. It's like, what is going on? Like, why am I so spacey? So, number 1 that you can expect when having your piece of Moldavite is you're going to be spaced out. How I managed to piece it all together is we are 7% water, right? And so water can come into 3 forms: ice, liquid, and vapor. It's all the same thing. It's all water, but in different forms. So if we are human, right, we can also be in that kind of form because we're 7% water. So have you ever wondered why, like, when you're in the shower or in the sauna, you constantly download a ton of information, like great ideas emerge out of the shower or in the sauna room? Well, maybe because your spirit guides, different energies are putting the energies in the water for you to download, right? They can't interfere without you asking for help, but they can put energy into the water, and once you absorb it, you download the information. So how I piece all this together is when I'm like sweating or perspiring, that's also me, because consciousness is, there's nothing tangible about consciousness. And so like when you're drinking alcohol, right, there's a reason why alcohol is called spirit. So when you're drinking alcohol vaporizes the water inside your body. So have you ever wondered why when people are really, really drunk, it seems that they're a different person, right? Could it be that the water is vaporizing their consciousness out of their body, and other entities, other spirits can latch on? That's why people are like, oh, you're not you whenever you're drunk, right? So honestly, like now whenever I drink, I'm conscious about wearing protective crystals and having these energies protect my energy field. Because whenever you drink alcohol, your conscious, your spirit vaporizes. And so to bring it all back to this is Moldavite has an energy from outer space, right? Because it was a result of an impact from a comet. And so if I'm going into my room and like I'm sweating or I have this aura, right? The energy in the room takes me way up there. And so I'm spaced out. And over here, I'm like, what am I in here for? So because of all this energy in the room, it takes my consciousness like way up there without me even knowing. So that's how I managed to piece together. I hope that makes sense. You'll definitely get very spacey whenever you start working with bigger pieces of Moldavite. So the second thing you'll start noticing is all the insane synchronicities that's going to start unfolding in your life. And so as you follow my journey, as you start seeing like, why are all these deers showing up in my life after my accident with the deer, right? It's just gotten to the point where I see numbers 144, 911, the deers, it's just like in my face when I'm not even like realizing that it's there. It's like, okay, I see the signs. How much weirder can this get? So the synchronicities are like in your face. It's like you can't even avoid it. It's like in your face. This is the right path. Keep going. You seeing synchronicities in numbers. 111, 222, 333. Like that's when I start realizing like, okay, there's something there. There's the synchronicities. The numbers are aligned. Possibly there's something here. So I want to share this really, as you guys can see, like my journey from the beginning last year to now. Like when I first started, things were just like, okay, I think this is where I'm going. I don't know. But as you progress and follow my videos throughout, like the message has always been the same. It's like this light goddess theme, working with just females, bringing out the feminine, divine feminine energy. And so originally in this journey, I keep getting visions like the 7 sisters. There's going to be 7 light goddesses, each one focusing on each chakra and helping other women heal each chakra. And that's the thoughts and visions and dreams I keep getting. And so this is when I first started my journey last year. I went to the department store. And so I went to a Marshall's, right? It's a department store. And then all I knew was like, okay, there's a 7 sister theme. I don't know how it's going to unfold, but okay, 7 sisters, 7 of us. I need to find 7. And then check this out. I came across this little clay thing, and it has 7 women in it. Like how? Like who even sells this? Like how is this even possible? I came across this in a department store at Marshall's. It's like, okay, I feel like I need to buy this. So I got this clay statue with 7 women standing in a circle. Okay, that's it, right? I kind of left it on the side, forgot about it. And then now as I come back, during this whole journey in Vietnam, I have all these like 50 stones of Moldavite. It's like, okay, well maybe I need like a nice place to put it. And then the first thing that showed up was like this little round thing. It definitely looked like a comet to me. I got this in Iceland 3 years ago. And it was just like a little round thing. It looks like a comet. And then I just felt like I need to put all my blessed Moldavites in here. And then something just told me, like, okay, put this inside of this. And look at this. Inside is this little round thing that puts this perfectly round meteorite thing with my crystals inside. And so this is what I have next to my bedside. And so when someone orders like a Moldavite, I just put whatever piece it is inside this thing, just because I feel like, who creates this clay pot thing with 7 women? And then now here's this meteorite looking round thing I found in Iceland 3 years ago, and then now my Moldavites are in there. So don't ask me why. This is just a download I got. It just seems to make a lot of sense. But these are like the crazy, crazy synchronicity that happens, right? At the time when you're experiencing this, it may not make sense. The pieces may not piece together yet, but just listen to it, because down the road, it's going to make so much more sense. And I've seen that in so many things that are starting to unfold in my life. Anyways, that was just something short and sweet. I just want to share with you, like this crazy synchronicity. It's like who makes a clay sculpture with like 7 women, and here I am thinking about 7 goddesses, 7 sisters, and here's a 7 women pot thing, and now I come back and like there's the comet thing like fits perfectly into this 7. I don't know, but the synchronicities are there. You just got to piece together the pieces as they come up, because it will not make sense to anybody else but you. So that's the thing, right? As these signs are coming up, it's a sign. Those are signs for you to understand. It will not make sense to other people. So as long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters, because there is a path that you need to go down. Just follow it, trust it, and it'll lead you to exactly where you need to be. I am seeing that firsthand, where I'm like, okay, as much as I try to plan and be an integrity in my word, like long term, there are times where I have to relax and let the cosmic energy flow, and just go with the flow, because there are things that it's divine intervention, right? You have to let the energy flow and do what your intuition guides you to do. There's things that you can't control. And so I can only plan for like short term. I had this vision of what long term is going to be. Short term, I can give you to my word on, okay, this is the next step, let's do this and do this. And if the energy comes up and guides me down a different path, honestly, I would tell you I would have to follow that path, because there are things that I cannot explain, and divine energies will come in and interfere. So that's all I want to leave you with, even though it may not make sense to a lot of you. But for those who do resonate with this message, follow your inner guidance, right? Don't judge yourself. Don't let others judge you. You know your own truth, and you're being directed to exactly where you need to be. So that's that. Number 2, the insane synchronicities. So number 3, what is probably most challenging and most difficult for a lot of people to accept is an ego death. So what does an ego death mean? It literally means that you will possibly go to this deep, I don't know how to put it, because all these energies are coming up for you to clear very fast, all at once. All right, you have bits and pieces. I'm not saying like the stone is the answer to it all. All I'm saying is Moldavite is going to expedite your process. So you can definitely get there through like meditation, vegan, or like eating super clean. It's fine. Like you get bits and pieces of doing yoga, right? Like these energies will come up in your life where you just have to deal with it, and that's okay. But just understand that when you start working with Moldavite, that energy will amplify, and things will come gushing in all at once. When I had that car accident last year, hitting the deer, right? Well, a month before that, my parents had randomly sold my red Camry that I had since college. So they were driving that car, and randomly one of their coworkers asked to buy the car, or their workers, right? They asked to buy the car, and so my parents were like, well, why not? We're not really using it. So they sold them the car. So when I had my accident in February, and then I left to Vietnam 2 weeks after, and this is about a month after my accident, while I was in Vietnam, my mom's worker called her and said, hey, we got into a car accident. We think the car is totaled. And so I just wanted to give you the news. And when I heard the news, I was mind blown. What are the chances that both of my car, my one from college and one from my career, both totaled within the same month, right? And the only thing that came to me is that there's a lot of my old energies inside that car. And by both of them being totaled, that releases all my old energy. I know a lot of you, like, this freaked you out. I was like, I think that's bad luck. But I feel like there's an answer to that. It's like everything you own. That's why your bed is water, right? Your bed, if you're sweating in your bed, that's holding your own energy. So that's why they say get a new bed every 7 years. And so it's like, okay, I think my car, like, what are the chances of both my cars being totaled within a month of each other? And as I'm going through this awakening, a lot of my friends started like distancing from me, right? It's like the one that doesn't vibrate with my energy anymore started like being more distant. And so I started being conscious of, okay, you know, now as I'm starting to release old energies, things are kind of come up, old friends leave, new friends come in. And so I just trust the process. I found what I found in Vietnam. And, you know, my my dad goes to garage sale a lot. And I kind of, she mentioned something. Hey, whatever you're buying these old stuff, like old energies from other people are within that item, that material things. So just be conscious whenever you're buying like really, really antique stuff. There could be old energies attached to that, and you can cleanse it, but I don't know how much energy is absorbed, and spirits can follow you. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't want to freak anybody out, and that's how I feel like that's how energy works. And another crazy thing is like 3 months before I totaled my car, I was driving, like I spent Halloween with my friend at her apartment complex, and so I was driving, and then I called her and she couldn't come down. She didn't pick up, so she couldn't come down and open the gate for me. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make a run for it. Whoever leaves the gate, I'm just gonna follow really fast behind. So I tried that. It did not work out well, right? I turned a really sharp corner, trying to rush out, and it put a huge dent on the side of my back door. And like, oh my gosh, I just totaled the whole back door of my car just trying to get out and save like $20. And I was like, okay. So I spent almost $1,000 fixing the car, and literally 3 months later, that car was totaled. So I feel like that energy was already ready to leave, get out of my life as I'm starting to go into this rebirth. And for those who do want to get into this crystal energy, right? Just be prepared, because you may be dealing with so many things that comes up that if you don't have the correct tools or guidance or coaching around how to release these energies, you will go into a very, very deep depression and start thinking that your life is going to shreds. And honestly, I had those feelings as I went through my awakening. I was like, there's something wrong with me, because why is everything going up so fast where I had no idea what was going on? And like, I totaled my car, and that's so bad luck. But understand, there's a positive out of all this. You have to shed your old ego. It's an ego death. Material things will go away. Old relationships will go away. Your old self, who you thought you are, and some of you, you know, you may leave your career. I don't know. But for me, like being in the financial industry, it did not sit well with me, right? I feel like all that corruption was placed in front of me for me to see it, and for it to happen to my own family and my insurance claim after Hurricane Harvey, where it just triggered me so much. I was like, that's it. Like, I don't want to be a part of this system. And during that time, I was so triggered. It's like, why would people do this? Like, can you not see how much you're harming others than you are helping them? Like, how can people have the morality to do this? And it was enough for me. It's like, that's it. That was the breaking point. It's like, I don't want to be a part of this system. So those are some of the kind of things you can expect. I mean, there's a ton more that can happen, but those are 3 main things I notice consistently as I hear other people's stories sharing with me and my own personal experience. I only share with you guys what I personally experienced through my own journey, and I just hope you're prepared for it, because this stone is not for everybody. If you don't have the correct tools, the correct coaching on how to deal with the energy that comes up, just don't blame yourself for everything that's coming up, right? You will go through like a depression stage unless you really know how to step back and view it from like a higher consciousness. And so, yes, Moldavite is very, very powerful. If you don't know, Freemasons has recently come up into my conscious a lot. And the more digging I did into it, the Freemason is the fraternity for just men. And there's actually a connection to Moldavite within this group. And so, for you don't know what Freemasons are, there's just this group of gentlemen who help each other, who form this fraternity to initiate men to build them up to be in this better place. And so the vision and downloads I've been getting with the Light Goddess is that we're going to create this feminine group, transfer our energies to do good for others. When we start creating this group of women, it's going to be each other supporting each other and helping those who are in need. If we can consciously put our thoughts and energies through this grid and pray for those who are in need and support each other, like, that's it. Like, that's all we need. We need to be supportive with each other. So if you resonate with one of my stones, come to me. You can purchase one of my stones. I do want to keep it with a divine feminine energy. I'm crystal clear on what I need to do. So just thinking of women. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope it helped. Let me know any other topics you want me to touch base on. But I'm excited for the journey that's going to unfold. All these visions of so much. I just ordered another 200 grams of Moldavite in my room. So there's so much energy. I'm constantly getting downloads. And so I constantly have to remind myself to ground myself. I hope you'll trust me in this process. And if you want to be part of the Light Goddesses Crystal Grid, reach out to me. I'll have one of your stones, ladies. That's all I have for you guys today. Tammy Doe, signing off.